Okay, all right, so let's start. I didn't set my timer. Sorry, guys. Let me set my timer. I should just get a clock in here, and then that wouldn't be a problem. Okay, so feet about hip distance apart. And then we're just gonna do gentle rotations. Keep the heels onto the ground. So just warming up, getting the blood flowing, the ground substance flowing, the lymph flowing. And just let the arms sort of flop. Feeling the rotation in the spine and the hips, down to the ankles. Okay, now let's let the heels come off the ground and press the toes and the balls of the feet into the ground. And then once you sort of get that coordination down, then start flowing into that twist again. Remembering no pain. If anything's painful, then slow it down or back it off a bit. Okay, all right, let's cross open and close. Just gentle, not hard into that end range. Okay, and then up and back. Weight in the heels, standing up straight, head reaching to the ceiling, chin a little tucked. Okay, and then opposite. Keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. Okay, and then we'll do side to side lateral movements of the spine. So we're trying to stay really upright and just let the hands slide down side seam. We're not trying to go as deep as you can possibly go. Just waking that space up a little bit. And if it feels comfortable and there's no pain, then you could start sort of reaching for those end ranges. But we're not going to hold anything right now. Okay, we'll stand up straight. We'll forward fold, but very slowly. So tuck the chin, one vertebrae at a time, sliding the hands down the front, unstacking the spine. And then the hip comes at the last minute, going down as far as feels comfortable, not pushing anything. Then tuck the hips under and start stacking everything back up. Okay, hands go behind and then start looking toward the ceiling as far as feels comfortable for you. To go into a little back bend, and we'll roll forward one more time. And then slowly back up, stacking. And then the head stacks last, and then we go into spine extension. All right, let's do just a little bit of ankle stretch. So you can hang on to something if you need to. Top of the foot presses into the ground, stretch the ankle, and then just sort of roll side to side on the top of the foot. Get the ankle a little warmed up. If you get a foot cramp like I just did, then step on the toes and the ball of the foot and then go back. I could feel a foot cramp coming, trying to avoid that. All right, other side. A little side to side. Movement of the foot. Stretch the toes as needed. All right, let's start with our, if you have just one band, that's fine, but we're going to use the lighter, the stretch. If you have I've got a stretchier one and a firmer one, but it's up to you. You can just use one. So we're going to use not a lot of tension in the band, but we're going to go around. Okay, and make sure that you're standing up straight, weight in the heels, top of the head reaching. We don't want the head being forward at all. Okay, we're just exploring that range of motion right now, making sure we don't have a lot of clunky, sticky parts in the shoulder before we start strengthening. So this is just the shoulders wake-up call. If you do feel some clucks and clinks, then slow it down, slowly move through that to start to work that out, as opposed to any forcing. Right. Okay. All right, let's put a little more tension in the band. And then we're going to go up. The left hand's going to stay straight up, and then the right arm's going to pull down. Okay, so one thing I want you to think about is really engaging the core. Feel the weight in the heels, engage the core, keep the hips where they belong. So we want the whole front and back of the core turning on to support this movement while we're strengthening more of the side ribs or the lats. We're going to do about, let's do about 15 of these. No idea where I'm at. I need somebody sitting in the corner counting for me. Okay, let's go to the other side. Okay, again, think about engaging the core, maybe some of the hips to keep you really stable, teaching your body to be stable while you're doing hard work, or moderately hard in this case. So we're getting a lot from this. We're getting the hips, we're getting the core, we're getting shoulder stabilization on the right side while we're getting lat strengthening on the left side. And we're practicing posture with weight in the heels. Okay, let's go both arms up, and then we'll pull down behind the head. Let's do about 20 of these. Slow down and slow up. Okay, and let's do 20 in front of the head. Okay, let's come down in front of the hips. Arms are straight, elbows straight, standing up straight, weight in the heels, head reaching up, pull back. Let's try for 15 of these. Shoulders down away from the ears. 10 might be enough, depending on how much slack you have in your band. Okay, then let's pull the band around the back, and then we'll straight elbows reach forward. Okay, and we'll take our band, we'll stand on it. You can stand with the band under your arch, or it's probably the easiest, and then reach down as far as you want to create resistance. Okay, so our elbows start off straight, so we've got a nice vertical band, the knees are bent, the knees aren't falling in towards each other, butt way out, and then glide the arms right up against the rib cage. And as you do, squeeze the shoulder blades together at the top. I think we can do 20 of these. Try to look to the horizon as you do it. Core is turned on. Okay, now we'll stand up. I like to change my orientation of the band so that it's coming out by my pinky side of my hand. And then we'll do standing up straight, elbow bends, and the nice linear plane to start out with. Let's just do 10 in the linear plane, or this plane of motion, I guess. Okay, and then we'll go about a 45-degree angle. Do 10 more. Okay, and then out to the sides. Okay. Okay, we're gonna switch to the legs. So you can either continue using that band or you can use a tighter band if you're feeling up to that today. Okay, and then we'll stand on the band again. Make sure your knees are not falling into each other. We're stacked up, the butt's out. Notice again how the band and the arms are vertical. Pull down as far as you want, and then squeeze the glutes at the top. Let's do 20-ish. Nice and slow on the way down. Maybe a little faster on the up, but definitely slow on the down. Right, now we'll do our Cheryl Sacco junior high dance. Just along your mat, or you can just do side step, side step. And as you're bringing one foot toward the center, make sure you're controlling that motion and not letting the band just snap you back. Always controlled. We'll just keep going for another 30 seconds or so. Can definitely feel it in my TFLs. A little bit longer. If you notice one side is getting tired faster, that's information that maybe you can use to plan and work on that side a little bit more. And all right, you can just maybe stretch that out a little, a little bit. Okay, let's do a more of a one-legged squat to just make sure we're strengthening our body in that way, because we are reliant upon one leg only for different tasks. So kind of the same setup as the squat. We're just going to toe touch back. I've got it under my left foot. So think about, it's almost more like a lunge push up. So most of your weight is going into your front leg. And do this nice and slow, because it's a balance task as well. Let's do 12-ish. Okay, all right. Definitely feel that after doing all that lateral movement. Okay, other side. So toe touch back. Most of the weight's in the front. We're still looking to the horizon. Keep the head up, nice and slow. Okay. Ooh, let's go back to the lighter band. You're switching. All right, we're going to stand on the band on the heel. The heel is on the band. So we know we're keeping our weight in the heel. And then I want you to think about pressing down from your hip with your knee straight, but not locked out. And then the left leg can either toe touch or even go into almost like your tree pose. But we don't want the left hip sagging down. So we're pushing that right hip down. Okay, so toe touch or tree pose. Okay, we're going to keep the elbow down to start. Turn on the core, front and back. You can stick a thumb in the back and a finger in the front to make sure. And then we're going to press up nice and slow. Let's do 10. Okay, and if you can stay at the top, elbow stays up, we'll do triceps. Do 10 of these. So much in one exercise. Keep pushing down with that right hip. Don't let it sag. Ooh. I need a little teeny walk after that. Okay. All right, let's put it under the other foot, under the heel. So we know we're keeping our heel, putting our weight in the heel. Push down with that hip. Decide if you're going to toe touch or tree pose. Gauge the core front and back. Start with the elbow down and press up. Nice and slow so you can work on your core balance and all the things that we're working on. Okay, after 10, elbow stays up. Triceps. Okay. Right, let's put it back under the right foot. We'll keep it under the heel. We'll take a wider stance. We're gonna, not a whole lot of slack in the band. And we're gonna go up and back, kind of a little rotation. Let's just do 10 of these. Keep that shoulder down away from the ears. Keep it slow on the way back too. Okay, we're gonna leave it under that foot. We're gonna put the band in the right hand, right foot, right hand. And then we're gonna reach forward. Put a little more tension in there. Feel the core turning on the farther you reach out. Okay. Other side. And the left heel, right hand. A little bit of slack. A little bit of tension. And reach back and rotate. Feel the core turning on. If it's not, you might have to do it intentionally, training your body to turn on appropriately as you need it. Okay, all right. Left foot, left hand. Okay, and then kind of a punch. Whoa, okay. Okay. Let's go back to the shoulders. This time, if you want to put more tension in your band as we go back and around, if you've got really tight biceps, be really careful on the way back. Ten or so. Remember to keep the head up, not let it go forward. All right, let's do some shoulder rolls as we start to wrap up. Both directions. Okay, stretch the arms kind of out to the side, and then we're gonna rotate on the axis, and just go to whatever your end range is, and then just gently nudge into it. Wringing out all those tissues. You might spread the fingers. We did a lot of gripping. And then do some fancy wrist motions. Okay, now let's do that same twist, but up above the horizon. That'll help get any swelling on my tight arms. Okay, all right, let's bring the arm overhead. Do a nice tricep stretch, take a wide stance, and then we're also going to stretch through the lat as we do this. And then you can also do like the teeniest little front back cat-cow sort of motion to get into wherever your tightness is. Okay, other side. All right, let's let the arms come down and we'll intertwine the fingers behind and then open up and lift as much as you're comfortable doing. Open up the chest. Okay, and then same thing in the front. Palms together, intertwine the fingers, press forward, shoulders stay down, and slowly lift up. See how that feels? Okay, if you want to add any side to side or any twisting, feel free to do that. Okay. All right, let's get the hip flexors. Use a wall if you need to. Hold on, point that knee down. Think about the pubic bone moving a little bit forward so that you really get into those hip flexors. Keeping the head up, look at the horizon or the imaginary horizon. Okay, let's take that same leg and cross it either under or over the knee, preferably over if you can get there, and then we'll squat into a stretch. Holding on to something makes it less of a balance task and more of a stretch. Again, doing any wiggle you need to do to get into your stuff. Okay, same thing, other side. Got about 2 minutes left. Remember to bring the pubic bone teensy tiny bit forward as you pull the knee back. Okay, then cross over the knee and sit back to stretch through here. And then a wide leg stance to get into the inner thigh. So tailbone back and then towards the bent knee side to get in through here. Couple, 3 more breaths. Other side, tailbone back and then towards the bent knee side. And then just sort of gently move into that tension, holding it. Little tiny movements are absolutely fine. Okay, we'll take our last 30 seconds or so to get a little bit of bouncing to, now that we've opened up all these wonderful spaces in our body, we can move those fluids, start making a little more crimp in our fascia. Heels can stay on the ground or come off the ground. Okay, and then we'll finish with some side to side. So we're getting all that yummy loveliness into our spine. If you want to finish the last few seconds with whatever movement feels like your body needs, then that is what you can do. All right, thank you guys. I hope everybody has a really wonderful rest of the day. Sun is shining.